the Chiggen begins 111 years ago when the 040T, built by H.K. Porter, and the 4390th built rolled out of the shops. It began its life operating on the Santa Cruz-Portland Cement Railroad in 1909 as Santa Cruz-Portland Cement No. 2, where it regularly traveled through the route of sharp curves and steep grades for 15 years, until the Santa Cruz-Portland Cement Railroad bought the narrow-gauge Gastineau Gold Mining Company in Thane, Alaska in 1923. Because of this, they decided to make this route a narrow-gauge line in 1924, meaning the Chiggen was of no use to the railroad and was sold to the Betchel-Kaiser Rock Company. At the Betchel-Kaiser Rock Company, the Chiggen was renamed to the Betchel-Kaiser Rock Co. No. 2 and was used to haul limestone from an underground glory hole, run 3 miles, and then tipped the freight cars over into hoppers to be transported to wherever the limestone needed to go by mainline rail. It operated there from 1924 to 1967, a total of 43 years. In 1967, it was bought by Ray Pollard, who owned a restaurant in Pollardville called the Chicken Kitchen. The Chiggen was then parked under a small section of track under the sign for the Chicken Kitchen, thus earning the nickname the Chiggen. At some point while it was sitting there, it was repainted to have orange wheels, bell, boiler front, whistle, and handrails, white steam dome and piston case, and gray drive rods, and a brown cap. It remained on display there from 1967 to 2006, when Evstathios I. Pappas bought it and started restoration on it. Here is a time-lapse of some of the major progress of the restoration. After the Chiggen's restoration was complete and had some test runs, it took a tour of the tourist railroads in the Santa Cruz area. It first took a trip of the Niles Canyon Railroad, located in Niles Canyon, California. It is owned by the Pacific Locomotive Association, Inc., which runs from Niles Canyon to Sunol Depot. It participated in a quintuple header with Mason County Logging 5, Quincy Railroad 2, Robert Dollar 3, and Clover Valley Lumber 4, as you can see here. The Chiggen was then driven to Roaring Camp Railroad in Felton, California, which is a narrow-gauge logging-style railroad, and it also has a standard-gauge train pulled by some ex-Santa Fe CF7s about 20 miles to the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The Chiggen ran on the beach train for a few days, and at one point did a special excursion past the boardwalk, and then after that it was taken to the Northwest Railroad Museum in Snowclimb, Washington, where it stayed until early 2020. In early 2020, the Chiggen was then leased to the Placerville and Sacramento Valley Railroad in Folsom, California, where it currently resides and operates on special excursions during this pandemic.